Good evening. I have to take off my mask now because we're trying to adhere to the protocols of COVID now at the station. So as usual, I'm taking off my mask now because I've been told by my producer that no mask, I can't enter. And we have to keep everybody safe. Good evening, and today is Friday as usual. We're back again. This is my second week in January. My show, as usual, I'm the host, Prolific B, and my show is The Young and Prolific. I've got two wonderful guests, and my show today, as usual, is about giving the youth, the youth in my community a voice to be able to give their own challenges and opinions, which is not predicated on us telling them what to do, but them actually giving us an opportunity. Now I'm going to introduce them, and I've got Reese, my beautiful young lady that is here this evening. Please, can you take off your mask as the camera shows on you? There you go, and take everything off and give us an introduction of who you are and, you know, what we're going to be doing today, basically.
Okay. Hi, my name is Reese. I'm a mum of a 3-year-old.
Okay.
I'm also a qualified nurse and a business owner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now I've got another guest that is here, Michael. And Michael is going to introduce himself as well. He's going to give us a view and a perspective of someone that is will be a parent. Mm-hmm. So now he's going to introduce himself.
Good evening. My name is Michael Akinbola. I am a trader and I work in a college as well. And I'm going to be giving my perspective of an outside view on the issues today.
Thank you very much, Michael. Now we're going to go later. We're going to go for an advert and then we're going to come back. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere. And sorry that I started late. Thank you, guys. Man that will tell you that he's the only one that loves you and nobody else loves you. That is a red flag. That is a red flag because nobody can love you more than your parents.
He's wearing it, alright, that means, oh yeah, well, he does that.
Yeah.
That's not fair. You're judging me before you know me. And that's unfair to you.
We should focus on happiness at the end of the day. You should do what makes you happy rather than what will make someone else happy.
At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about, how it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them. At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about, how it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them. At World Remit.
We're back again, and the topic today is about challenges as a youth, being a parent, working, and I'm going to have another perspective. The reason why we've got another guest here today is the previous guest missed a train, so I had to get myself an independent man that is going to look at things from a perspective. Not being a single parent, but a potential parent. So, Reese, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah.
What the first question is, as a young person, what are the challenges that, as being a young mom, you've actually faced in our community? Because I know sometimes it's more like stigmatization that, oh, you're a young person and you've had a child, because we have this set thing that they tell you, oh, you have to be married before you have a child and all those stuff. But so far, what are the challenges you've actually faced?
I think The challenges I face most is trying to balance being a young person and having a child at the same time. So your friends going out all the time, you wanting to work and do things that you need to do, but having a child at the same time makes it difficult. So I feel like that's the challenge. And in terms of people having a perspective of you, obviously the older generation sometimes look at you in a way like, as soon as you say, oh, you're a child, so who's your husband, or are you married? And that's a big stigma that's on us as young mums. So I feel like that's kind of hard as well. Yeah.
Okay, before I come to Michael, I'll come to you. But don't you feel that when you look at modern society, that sense of being married is more of, I'm not somebody's going to say, I keep using the word hypocritical, because there are people that are in families, that the families are not very functional.
Yeah.
So don't you feel that stigmatization needs to be taken out?
100%. I feel like in order for you to bring up a child in a healthy environment, that should be your main priority. And sometimes you being in a relationship with your child's father or in any family situation can be toxic for the child. So I feel like, especially the older generation, some of us, not me, but some people have grown up in families where the mum and dad stay together and it's toxic, and the children are growing up in that toxic environment, and then eventually that has an effect on the child. So I feel like you have it's double standards. You have to let go of the stigma and understand that we're doing what's best for our children, and I think put that first. So
Michael, as a potential man to be a father, which I know it's not potential, but you are a man anyway, but as a going to be a father figure, I know you've seen friends that they're single parents as males, because I know you got some of your friends. From your perspective, how do you feel that being in marriage is necessarily very, very healthy for a child? If the relationship is not so...
I think it's very important, because I think it's very important to understand that being in a relationship is the ideal way to, I think, that we've all grown up and so society says to be. But when it comes to reality, you see that it doesn't always work, because children, we sometimes believe that children that are young, they don't see much or they don't see things, but we know that they actually see and hear everything. So if relationship's not well or not healthy, then obviously the child picks up on those things and then take those traits, even by the parents knowing sometimes. So I think, in my experience and what I've seen in terms of my male friends and people that I know, I think it's important to put the child first, and if something's not working with you and your partner, to move in that situation, because it's what's best for you and for the child. But that's my perspective on it from an independent view.
But when you say that, even though it's your perspective, you are in an environment whereby you have friends that will probably talk to you about their relationships and how probably they feel that it's toxic for the child to be in an environment. Because sometimes, do you feel that when a parent says, oh, I'm in a relationship because of my child, it is healthy?
I think it depends on how the person handles their relationship. If the person is able to put the whole big picture, and they're able to understand the negative of being in a relationship and a positive relationship and the way up, and see that it's beneficial for them to stay, then I respect that person in terms of they understand. If it's the other way, I still respect that person, because at least they're prioritizing what's best for themselves and for the child. I think sometimes some people our age can get caught up in the back and forth, but I respect the mums that are and the males that are really prioritizing themselves. Racy is one of the people I respect highly, because she prioritizes herself.
Okay, so Racy, the same question that I asked Michael, do you think it is healthy for somebody to be in a relationship that is not healthy, to say that, oh, I'm in there for my child?
Well, talking from my perspective, I think that it's important to try. I feel like even when it's not working out, at the end of the day, we're young and we've made big life choices like having children, and that can be detrimental to a relationship sometimes. So I think if it's not working out, I think it's okay for you to say, I'm going to try. Even though it's not working out right now, I'm going to try for our child, because a two-parent household can be good for a child as well. So we need to look at the positive side. So I think it's important to try, but I feel like when it's at the point where it's getting detrimental to the child's health or the child's upbringing, or their mental being, or how they're going to grow, I feel like then it's like, no, you need to nip it in the bud. But I do think it's important to try to.
When you say try, the reason why I say that is most relationships that breaks down, and I can speak for me, sometimes you actually do see the signs even before you go in.
Definitely.
But I think sometimes we put blinders on and pretend that it's going to work, because if you've got somebody that is not pulling his weight, you've got somebody that he says, oh, look for a job, and he's telling you, oh, I'll find it in the next month, 6 months come, it's not doing anything. Or, you know, there's certain things that I know for a fact that in any relationship, when you see that, you have to bail out. So when you say try, what are the things that would make you try?
So I can understand the perspective in that sense. I think we do that a lot. We see the red flags, as some people will call it, and we still continue. But I feel like once a child comes into that situation, that's a child. So although you've seen those red flags, you made the decision to continue in that situation. So if you're in that situation and a child has come, it's your responsibility now to try and make it work. If it doesn't work, then fine. But you still have to give it that goal, because now it's not about you, it's not about the person, it's about the child now. So I feel like, even though we see the red flags, if there's a child, still try.
Okay, the question that I was going to ask you, do you think somebody chooses to be a single parent?
No. Well,
Tough question.
I don't know. It depends.
No, the reason why I say that is there are people that they choose to be single parents, because we've got people that they feel I've reached a certain age in my life.
Okay,
You know, I reached a certain age in my life. Or sometimes there are people that they tell them that they have medical problems whereby they have to have children. What I'm saying is, I know I've given you examples. You were supposed to say that. You didn't know. So, God, shame on you guys. Anyway, so what I'm saying is, as a young person, do you choose to be a single parent? Or you go in it thinking that, oh, this person loves me and is going to last?
Yeah, definitely. I think from my perspective anyway, that's what I thought,
So you thought that person was going to love you for life?
Yeah, I did. But my mum always put into perspective that men can come and go. So when you're making a decision to have a child and become a parent and a mother, understand that that's your role. Whether a man comes and goes, that's your role. So when you're making that decision, I'm not saying that I wanted to be a single parent, that was my goal, but I was always prepared for it anyway. In that sense.
Michael?
I think it's the same, to be fair. I feel like there are women out there that I would say trap men.
There are certain men
that will trap men, because they say, you know, they're well, they got a good job, they've got a house, got some that. Some women might actually seek that and then go for that. So in that sense, I think they're already going into it saying that if it doesn't work out, it's fine because I'll get child support, or they mentally prepare themselves for that single mum life.
So they're materialistic, basically.
Yeah. And I think you have the other perspective where, you know, you do go in a relationship for a number of years and you do see it going away. And I think it just happens. I don't think it's planned. I think it just happens in like how it happens, and then everyone things don't work out. But I generally think more time it's you actually want it to happen in terms of your relationships, and you love them, and it's out of love more than just materialistic thing. But,
okay. So do you feel that as a young person, your parents, because you just said your mom told you men come and go, don't you feel that is sometimes a negative statement? The reason why I say that is, if I am prepared that if I cross the road I'm going to be hit, a car is going to hit me, don't you feel I'm not going to want to come out of my house?
Yeah, definitely.
So do you feel your parents prepare you for life? Because the reason why I say that is, there's things that is so unexpected in life. Because when you're in a relationship with somebody, your sense of hope, let's say you have faith that the relationship will work out, you see. So if you're going into it feeling that men will come and go, isn't that sort of like an oxymoron? Kind of like you feel that is a bit,
Not in relationships, but in terms of children, I think my mum says that in the sense that relationships don't always work out. So not that she prepared it for me in that way, but just that I need to understand that being a mum, not that the dad's not going to be involved in the child's life, because he very much is, but in terms of you might have to do it alone on a day-to-day basis, because sometimes relationships don't work out. So I feel like it wasn't negative, it was just preparing me. And to be honest, I still wasn't prepared, but it was just preparing me for that, because becoming a mum is a huge responsibility. So it's just that and my mum's, I think she was preparing me in terms of relationships, like you said, relationships can become toxic, and I can't stay in it because I have a child. So it's just that preparation that if things ain't working out, you understand that on a day-to-day it's going to be you and your child in that situation. So I don't feel like it was negative, but yeah.
You see, I'm asking you a question today. Do you think relationships are overrated? Especially, no, do you think are overrated when it comes to understanding what your partner or your ex-partner expects from, like both of you expect from each other?
Overrated?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because the reason why I say that is we have this Cinderella syndrome. Remember when you're young, you've got this white knight that will come and save you, he'll protect you, he would, this thing. Michael,
Yes.
do you feel that relationship overrated?
I think it depends where you are in life. I think me growing up, I felt like I had this idea of what it should be, and when I'm growing up, you meet different people and you realize in life sometimes it's about the building that connection to be strong enough and that foundation to be able to hold that title. Because I think with a title comes a lot of expectations, a lot of pressures. But when you have the foundation, which you know you guys are good friends, you guys can tour, you can know how that person really works. I think that's better than being in a social relationship, that title of, oh, you're my boyfriend, you're my girlfriend type thing. So I definitely do agree it's overrated to a certain extent, but it also depends on the partner you're with if they accept that.
Racy, yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Undercorrected, but I'm trying to do my best. Racy, yes.
Do I think relationships are overrated? Yeah, to an extent.
Explain.
Why? Because how do I explain it? I think because sometimes we hold relationships so highly, but we need to understand that the most important relationship is with ourselves. And I feel like we fail to understand that. And I feel like it takes situations and you go through things to realise that. But relationships really take you away from you because it becomes about the person. And I don't feel like we understand that as young people. We get into relationships thinking it's our life, and then we forget about ourselves and how to love ourselves and how to respect ourselves. And we need to remember that we need to have a relationship with ourselves first. So I feel like it is overrated in that sense because there's no rush. I feel like as young people we do rush a lot.
No, but don't you feel that it's because when you don't have experience in relationships in terms of your friends and stuff, it's a period whereby you guys are trying to get to know each other. Because one thing is you guys are you're coming from different homes and different backgrounds. Do you understand me? So everybody is raised differently. Everybody's morals is different. You can like somebody based on probably superficial, and as Michael said, you guys can become friends and then later on try to get to know each other. So don't you feel on that aspect, even though it's overrated, it's not so much as you feeling that you don't know each other that well, but it's the fact that you have higher expectations of each other because you think that when you love each other everything can be resolved and you can actually find a way through the cracks, even though the cracks are like potholes. I do think that, and I feel like it's important. Love does solve everything. Love is so minute in a relationship. Like love, if somebody is abusing you or something is happening, you can't stay with someone because of love. Because love doesn't mean anything. It's about respect, loyalty, and everything else that comes with it. So, yeah. I
think just to bank on that, I think it's important. I feel like the saying "love is blind." I think it just goes to show that.
Oh, a fool falls in love.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry, I like
that. I feel like when you're in love, I feel like you miss the red flags that people say, and even in a relationship, you think that you probably won't tolerate being single.
What would you identify as a red flag?
Oh, so many.
I think.
Yes.
I think one that's a one that people miss is respect. I think when you have your own level of respect as a person, and somebody shatters that completely, I think that's a major red flag. I think respect and how you see yourself. If someone kind of makes you step out of who you are in a negative way, and they bring out the worst in you, I think that's a red flag. I think no one should bring out the worst in you if they love you or want to be.
What would be an example of that? The reason why I say that is, like most women say, Racy, I'll come back to you. Yeah. Most women say we don't know what men want. And men, we always, no, it's true, because it's not even your generation. Our generation, to our parents, it's like we don't seem to know what men want.
Yeah.
What would you see as disrespectful?
I would say being in a committed relationship and being disloyal. I think it's something.
Being disloyal.
Being disloyal. I think being disloyal is a red flag that I think is about respect again. If you and this person have said we are together, and that person now goes out there and speaks to other people, that is a
Speak to other people about your private business.
Romantically, emotionally, private business, so something that is between you two. They speak, they go out there and basically like, I don't say cheat, but because it's different levels of cheating, but just disrespect you outside your relationship, then I think that's a red flag. As a guy,
Rexy, I'll come back to you. The reason why I'm harping on him is women don't seem to know what you guys want. What would you call cheating?
Cheating is
it emotional?
I think it's emotional and physical.
No, okay. So your emotional part will be your partner telling your private business to their friend, because you know women talk a lot. But
I think personally, I feel like the best relationships are when you keep as much as you possibly can in-house, and you handle it in-house. Also, you might need counsel from outside. I think personally, I would prefer if my partner was speaking to a female, and if she had a male friend, I would hope that male person that I know of, at the very least.
Oh, you want a male friend that you know of?
Yeah, at the very least, so I will have a gauge on his mentality myself, so I know that he's giving the best advice because he has the best interest in our relationship.
But that one might not be objective.
What, for the guy?
For you.
For you, yeah.
But that's my problem.
No, seriously. Sorry. Oh, you're laughing.
Yeah, because the guy's gonna like agree with you, isn't it? Because he's your friend.
No, but even if it's her best friend and I don't know him, like, I want him to be like at least like
objective.
Yeah, to be not biased in terms of like, let's say he has feelings for her. He's
got feelings for her.
Yeah, he's always gonna say things that are not gonna be in favor.
Oh, okay.
So I want to be able to know that he's in the right frame of mind as a best friend, male best friend.
Right. So what do you think
about red flags?
Yes.
There's so many red flags. There's so many.
Okay, just choose. You know, the ones that you feel it stands out. And the reason why I say that red flags is it when the person is not pulling his weight. The person, what would you see as a red flag in a relationship?
Someone not pulling their weight.
In what terms? Employment, in trying to structure for the future, you know.
Yeah, those things are definitely red flags. Like not having a goal in life and not knowing where you want to be. Those are big red flags. Or
sometimes when they're not serious.
Yeah, just not being serious.
Commitment.
Yeah, commitment.
What would you see as a commitment? No, I'm not talking about marriage or anything. What, you know?
I feel like it's just in the small things, like reciprocating. So if I'm calling you every day, calling me back. If I'm speaking to you every day, speaking to me back. If I'm FaceTiming you, FaceTiming back. Just in the small things, I feel like you have to reciprocate.
If you're somewhere, you have to let you know
like you're here. Just simple things. That
so when you FaceTime, you don't want him to be hiding
and you're not picking up the phone and you disappear for 2 days, and that's a red flag. Like, well, where are you? Where are you?
Are you working?
No, for 2 days.
Business trip.
It's a police.
Yeah, those are red flags, I think.
Do you think you can change your partner when you're in a relationship?
Women think we can, but we can't.
I think you can.
It depends. If that person loves you and is invested in you, I feel like they will be willing to change. But that's not a you decision, that's a them decision. They have to decide they want to change. They can want to change because of you, but you cannot change anybody, no.
Don't you feel that the word change is a little bit harsh? Because the people make compromises. The reason why I say that, trying to compromise, because if I have to change who I am, I always say that I would never go out with somebody that I don't love or I don't have a connection with. Yeah. Because down the line, I'm going to compromise. So if I'm compromising from the onset,
then okay,
that means that I'm not going to have anything left.
Yeah.
You see, because that's why I said that we come from different backgrounds. So it could be that the person doesn't like picking up after themselves. The person has to learn. Or because I had a friend that she said her husband always wanted her to make up the bed, and she was very messy. So she ended up trying to make sure that every time the bed was made up and all those stuff. So those are the little things that you do. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
But as I say, change. But the funny thing is, one thing I always said, that you can't change somebody. You see, you can't change somebody. The person can love you enough to try and make the effort. Yeah. You see. And I believe that in every relationship, when you are in a relationship, you cannot expect too much from each other.
Yeah,
as young people, how do you amalgamate that with you being friends? Because you know when you're friends, you're able to tell each other everything.
Yeah.
You're open and you're honest. Do you understand? But
Yeah.
when you come into a relationship, because I know most relationships, people start fronting.
Yeah.
People start pretending to be. So down the line, you see that somebody will say, oh, that wasn't the way that person was and that person has changed. So what I'm saying is the change aspect, how do you identify those things?
I think I think, like I said, change is quite harsh. I think I would say that someone can influence you to I say self-develop. The better word. I think in terms of like, I think it's just communication. You know, just being open with somebody that you care about and seeing a future with them is just will bring you guys closer because you want to communicate the same things. You want to be a part of the same things. I think once communication breaks down, it places the relationship automatically in a place of discomfort. I think personally, change is a very harsh thing. I think influence is the word I like to use. You can influence me
Or
to
compromise,
be better.
yeah.
I don't think I hate compromising.
So what did you say?
I don't like compromising.
You don't like
Yeah,
compromising?
I feel like when you, I was saying to my friend the other day, I feel like when you have been through a number of relationships, you can kind of identify what you want as a baseline, no matter what. So even if you meet somebody now, you already know that this thing I'm not going to change, I'm not going to compromise, no matter what, because I've known and I've known in myself this is what I need as the baseline. So I think that comes with experience. I think if you don't have experience, then maybe you end up compromising on the way. But I know some females that are very strong-willed because they had that experience. They know what they want from the opposite, so they don't really like wait for guys to say that they don't call you. Like,
I feel like there's some things you won't compromise. So for example, like I won't compromise the level of respect that I want
you
for
want
myself.
for yourself, yes.
That's something that I won't compromise. But
Yes.
compromise is necessary because although you might meet someone that you like or love or that fits your criteria, nobody's perfect.
Which is
so
true.
there's gonna be things about them that you don't like or
Yes.
that they do that irritates you. For example, they don't clean up or they drop something on the floor. You're gonna wanna compromise because they need to learn that, but that doesn't mean because somebody doesn't make the bed I'm gonna end the relationship. No, I have to compromise in that aspect because I have to try and see what works. Maybe I can make the bed and they don't. You know, there's always need for compromise. Some things you don't need to compromise, okay, like respect, but some things you have to compromise for in a relationship.
Okay, I'm going to read some messages because I've got some important people that are on my platform, and they're giving us some big up. I've got my dear, I don't know what to say. I call her my mom. She's a fantastic woman. Her name is Nana Daisy, and I love her support. And thank you so much because she's on and she's giving us some proper big up. Do you understand me? I run a food bank with her in Edmonton, and we're doing brilliantly, and it's called Daisy Beats. Yes, and I've got my friend Rosie that she's giving me proper big up. My dear, share it. Yes, and people, please watch it. Thank you so much, Mrs. Drea. And please, I'm telling you guys to share it because this is really, really important. Because I always say that we don't give you guys a platform to air out your views. We normally talk at you. You see, and I feel it's really, really important for us to actually hear you guys because in this current situation and in this current environment, as young people, the environment has changed drastically in terms of relationships, in terms of COVID even now has made things a bit more difficult for us because it's like the support, that the freedom that you guys had, we don't even have that anymore. You see, because you've got children that now they don't go to school, or even if they go to school, you don't know what they're going to catch. You don't know how life was difficult initially, but now it's become very, very untenable. Do you understand me? Now, one of the things that I wanted to ask you was when you are in a relationship and you know the relationship is going to break up, how do you structure how you are going to communicate with your ex? Because you know when you break up, trust me, it's messy. No, it's very, very messy because all of a sudden you start from love, and all of a sudden everybody is in a corner, everybody's trying to put their foot in and be right. How do you balance that out?
So is that with a child?
When you've got a child, yes.
I feel like it's difficult. It's especially when you first break up, because a lot of emotions are running high. You have your reasonings, they have their reasonings of why things are breaking down, and sometimes it can be hard. But it's just important to remember, no matter what, it's about the child, and to prioritize that. So as difficult as it is, and I'm not saying it's easy, because sometimes you get caught up in the arguments and the hassle, but it's important to remember that this person is in your life till your child is 18 or of age where they can communicate with their father or their mother by themselves. So I feel like it's important to just put your own feelings aside and remember that it's about the child. But it is difficult, it is hard.
You see, when you said that, I don't mean, I'm not, you know something, I know it's axiomatic that you're going to say that we all have to be level-headed. But most of the time you want to claw his eyes out. And I've been in that situation. I've been in that situation. And I think one of my priorities with me, one of my priorities was my kid is not going to lose out, or my kid is not going to be a casualty of my relationship. Do you understand? You as a father, as a potential father, like future father, how, I'm not saying the relationship will break up or anything, but how do you guard against that? Because if you're in a relationship, you would have arguments, you want to repair it, you want to do stuff. How would you guard against that?
I think,
because you're thinking of the priority being your child, not you.
Yeah, I think it just goes down to just, again, you know, safeguarding the child from argument as much as we can. I know it's easier than done, but I think being able to make your partner understand that this is where we're in a situation where the child is first. So even at the point we're arguing and we see the child is more kid saying, okay, listen, let's take this somewhere else. Let's remember that while we're together, you know,
or while we're not together,
or while we're not together, but let's maintain the fact that the child is first at all points. I think just down to good communication and being unite in the fact that the child is the main priority. I think sometimes the anger in that moment can consume us or consume people in terms of, you know, what they want from their partner or what they don't want from their partner, where the child then becomes a casualty of that situation. Like I said, kids know things from the onset. So I think when you have that understanding and knowledge, I think you kind of go into it saying that listen, I'm gonna try my best to not place my child in situations where I'm arguing or just in a bad situation.
But I feel like it stems back to, there's two things I want to touch on. The first thing is that it stems back to leaving a relationship before it gets to that point. And that's why I say, like, even it's important to try.
When do you identify that?
When it's getting too toxic, you can't even have a conversation. When it gets to the point where you can't even have a conversation, you can't communicate, that's too toxic. I feel like we need to take a step before that. But when we see,
so you're talking about triggers.
Yeah, like when we see it's getting to that point where this is about to really break down, or it's going too far, we need to remember there's a child involved. So
how do you identify that it's going too far?
If you're constantly arguing, constantly fighting, you're not seeing eye to eye, you're realizing you're different. And sometimes in a relationship, you have a child young and you grow apart. Understand and be mature enough to understand that we've grown apart now, so let me leave the situation now. And we don't always do that. We wait till it's too toxic. So now when it's time to communicate with your child's father or child's mother, you find it so difficult because there's so much built up of anger and stuff. So I feel like it's important for us as parents and as young people to leave before it gets to that point, because it is hard going back and forth with your child's mother and father. And then also to add, we're saying that we need to put the child first and stuff, but I agree, but I'm also a firm believer in putting yourself first. Because in order for me, for example, to be a good mother to my child, I need to be in a good place mentally and emotionally for me to be a good mother to my child. So put that child first, yes. But if it's getting too toxic, sometimes you need to step away from that situation, cut communication. I'm not saying forever, but for a time, maybe
it's like you take a break.
Take a break.
So that everybody
cools down and then go again. Because if you're constantly arguing, what kind of mom are you going to be to your child? You're going to be frustrated. You take it out on the child, and it eventually has effect on her. So it means that why did you break up then? You should have stayed together then, because it's still affecting the child in a way. So I feel like sometimes it's important. Put yourself first sometimes as well.
Don't you feel that when a relationship is breaking up, it's more of a power struggle, that everybody wants to be right?
Yeah, all the time.
Yes, because everybody wants to be right. It's like you did this, and it's more like a blame game. And you didn't do this, and you didn't do that. So it becomes very, very... I've forgotten the word I wanted to use, but it becomes very difficult for everybody to hear everybody, because everybody is shouting at each other so much, and everybody's trying to prove that they're right so much that they're not hearing each other. So even if the person is wrong, he still feels that I I need to make my point.
Yeah, definitely.
You see,
Yeah.
and how do you think that? How do you think you guys will work around it? Because I know you have friends that probably they'll come to you and then they'll say, "Oh, Michael, this is what this girl is really stressing me." You know, whatever it is. What would you advise that person?
I think and my brother.
Without slapping the person back.
I think I always say that it's always good to take accountability on what role you played in the argument.
Yes.
I think once you can take accountability for
identify.
I think it makes it easier to see where they're coming from straight away.
So if you're not doing it from a blind spot.
I think if at the moment you cannot see where you're wrong in any situation, you're not the best person you are in that sense.
And that's why like I thank God for like friends like Michael and Andre and like friends that I can speak to, especially from like a male perspective, because they keep me grounded. Like if I come to them with a problem, they say like, Racy, but you can do this better and you can do that better, or they just give me a different perspective. So
they give you a perspective from a male
from a male's point of view. So maybe I might get angry a lot, or I might be, I don't know, come across aggressive, and then Racy, that's not the way you should be as a woman, and maybe that's what's triggering him to behave in that way. And that's why you should have like, I appreciate them because they do keep me grounded in that sense. So it's important to have people.
It's a thank you.
It's important to have people that hold you accountable as well for your actions and how you can be and improve yourself too. Yeah.
Okay. You know, when you said that, do you feel it's right with me? I know what I think. Do you feel that if you're in a relationship and the relationship is either breaking down or is broken down, and the woman wants to take time out to get herself sorted, do you feel that a man has a right to act as if he's doing something beyond anything that anybody is saying?
Just because he's given her time? No.
Because he's taking care of his child. Don't you feel the man, if a woman is not there, the man has to step in, so the woman sorts herself out?
100%, yeah.
You see,
I agree with that. 100%.
Because I don't feel the man is doing anything exceptional.
No, I don't know.
No, it's true.
They are. They think
no.
are.
And you know when you said that, it reminded me of, you know when you see a man pushing a pushchair, and he's looking at when he sees a woman, he's trying to act like,
excited.
It's
normal. Your parents.
Actually, it pisses me off that he's looking to see that, oh yeah, this is me out there.
No,
I'm kind of thinking that it's both.
Men really have, excuse me, but
no, don't excuse me.
Honestly, men really have this thing where they think that because they take care of a child, or they have their child,
they're the best thing since sliced bread, isn't it?
Like why? I understand. It's 20th century, 21st century. We can share parenting,
which is
and
true.
You're not anything special because you look after your child. You're a parent. You're a father, and that's your role and your job. I don't feel like you deserve special accolades for being a dad. You should be a dad and don't. Because you're doing it for your child. Yeah, I don't feel like you should be on a high horse for that. I feel like it's your role, it's your job, and embrace that. Yeah, men are really something when it comes to that.
I agree. I don't know why it is like that. I don't know. I knew it's coming to society, and I think maybe because men do get the attention from females, so it's reinforced in a way. Because you like I said, my guy goes to the pushchair, and females like, oh.
He's pushing the pushchair.
No, some men don't do that. Do you know that I really get upset? When I say I really do get upset. Because you see women with babies strapped to them pushing pushchairs, and you don't see anybody exactly. And I feel that women too, if you're not in the right frame of mind, it's better to step back to get yourself sorted. Because the thing that I always say is, when you're on a plane, they don't say put your child's mask on first. They say put yours on first, then you put your child's one on. Because if you're not in the right frame to take care of yourself, how would you be in a position to take? And I feel our culture too should stop listening to friends and stop letting friends tell you, oh, your kid is that way, your kid is that way. And when your kid is talking, listen to your child.
Definitely,
Because sometimes I know parents will turn around and say, oh, what do you have to worry about? And I'm thinking, when you are young, you see, the expectation of how life is supposed to be, that is not how it is. Because I remember one of my guests came in my relationship, and she says they sold us a dream. The dream was that our life was going to be rosy. So as a young person, you have this expectation, oh yeah, this man is going to love me for life, or he's going to have my back. And then when it's breaking down, you're feeling like demoralized, and you expect your family to be there. Do you feel family support is very, very crucial?
Very crucial. It's so important. Family support is so important. I feel like in a lot of my situations and situations that have broken down, I feel like if it wasn't for my family, I don't know where I would be. And sometimes the support can come in ways that you you don't understand.
You don't
in the
expect
moment.
it, yes.
Yeah, and you don't understand in the moment. Like, I feel like sometimes it can come in harsh love.
Yes.
And yes, you're going through this, but fix up and go and do that and go and do that, and you can't sit still and you can't quit your job and you can't. It can be harsh in the moment, but after a while you realize that was the best thing for you.
I don't think it's harsh, but it's more constructive.
It feels harsh.
No, but I'm saying it's constructive bluntness.
Yeah.
It's constructive bluntness.
But it feels harsh.
Because at the end of the day, if I was saying that when my relationship broke down, I remember one of the things that I was thinking was, sometimes I'll be sitting there and I'll be thinking, oh my God, why should I be here? And then I realized that if I'm not here, who's going to take care of my kids? Do you understand me? I actually put myself in a position that, so as a parent, you know, when you were younger and you were free and you could do everything that you could. Yeah. Now, what has changed? When you had a child, has your perspective changed?
On how I look at my parents, or?
No, on how you put yourself in a position whereby you know you have to take care of somebody else. That you've got somebody depending on you because your son or your child now, your daughter.
It changes a lot, I think. I feel like
you have to grow up quickly.
Yeah, you have to grow up very, very, very quickly. And I feel like, as much as I say put yourself first, sometimes you have to put your child first and you have to put your feelings aside. So for example, if you're going through a breakup, for example, and you have a child, before you had a child, you can cry in your bed for 2 weeks and be upset and be depressed, but I can't do that because tomorrow morning my daughter's waking up at 6 o'clock and I have to get up at 6 o'clock and make her.
What's her name?
Brielle Marie.
Brielle Marie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So every morning I have to wake up, get Brielle Marie ready. I have to get her ready for nurse. I have to give her food. She's gonna talk to me. She's gonna speak to me. So I can't be in bed for 2 weeks and cry and be emotional. I can't take time out for me because I have to do that for my child. So I feel like in that sense, yeah, like it changes. Okay,
I've got somebody on the line, somebody on the staff, and it says, be transparent and honest. Try to have an open conversation. Okay, that is one of the points. It says be transparent.
Yeah.
Which is, thank you so much. His name is Baijo Augustine. Yes. Yes. Which is very true. No, that is very, very true. Because if you are not honest,
definitely.
How do you sort of like have structure?
Definitely.
Now, how do you have structure? Yeah. Because I know that being honest, it seems like, if I be honest, she's going to fight with me. But the funny thing is sometimes critical analysis puts you in a position for you, because they're saying things that you might not see that you're doing that is not right. Do you understand me? So that, when he said, the harsh love kind of thing, it's not the harsh love because it's like going so softly does not actually help you move to the next level.
Yeah.
You see? And do you think sometimes because of that you overcompensate? As a parent, it's not, when you have a breakup.
Definitely. Overcompensate with my child, with my children. Yeah, I feel like I do.
And what are the things that you do that is overcompensation?
I feel like my overcompensation when it comes to my child is not because of relationships and the breakdown, but because of how hard I work. Okay. So because I work a lot, I have a job, I have a few businesses as well, and I'm
what do you do?
I'm a nurse, district nurse, and I have a hair business. I'm a hairdresser.
Oh, okay.
And I make food.
Okay.
Called Juicy Fish. I make seafood boils, and then I also do like YouTube on the side.
Okay.
So I do quite a lot. Okay. And I have a child. Okay. So I feel like I overcompensate because I feel like I'm working so hard, and it's a balance because I want to work hard so I can create a better future for my child. Yes. But then I also have to remember that these are the most important parts and years of her life, so I need to be present.
I didn't ask you how old you were.
I'm 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
24.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have to like overcompensate in certain ways. So if she's crying, I might tend to her a bit more, and then she becomes even more. It's a cycle where she cries for attention, and kids are smart. Yes. So she will continually cry because she knows mommy's gonna overcompensate. Mommy's gonna come to me. Mommy feels bad. So she knows. So in that sense, I do overcompensate. Yeah. With behavior, I would say. How
do you keep? Okay, I'll come back to you. I'm not forgetting you. Like I said, I'm trying to get a lot. Okay, how do you try and stay calm with your ex, especially when your child is around?
When they're around.
Yeah, when your ex is around and it's really infuriating. How do you keep calm? Because in front of her, you're trying to portray this sense of calm.
You don't always remain calm, to be honest. You have to be honest. You don't always remain calm. Being honest, you don't. You really don't. Like I said, emotions run high, and and we're young. We can be petty. So sometimes somebody...
I'm old and I'm petty.
Yeah. So somebody
Yes.
a bit petty can really irritate you. And sometimes it's hard to stay calm in front of your child. But to try, I feel like just ignoring them and just...
What are the triggers? Because is it not to be too personal? I want you to tell me what were the things that brought you to the point.
I feel like someone say something. I feel like questioning my motherhood or how I am as a mum can trigger me. That's one thing I feel like can trigger me. And I feel like when it comes from a perspective of maybe the father or somebody who's not with me on a day-to-day basis, I feel like that can be difficult because you're not here every day. You don't deal with me every day. So I feel like sometimes with most dads, they come in and they spoil the child and they don't make her cry and stuff like that. But you're not there every day. You might see her every other day or every week or so. So you don't understand her behavior or why she's crying, or I know that she's doing this because she knows she's going to get this type of attention. So when I'm dealing with her in a certain way, when you come in and you interrupt that, I feel like that can be frustrating and triggering. But I feel like it's just having a conversation. You just have to grow up and mature and have a conversation with them about that.
Don't you feel that on that male perspective is like trying to be like a good parent?
Yeah, I feel like they do that a lot.
So your friends, So does any of your friends do any of those stuff? Like say that when they go in, I'm trying to make the woman feel like I want the child to like me more.
Yeah, I think as a male, you always wanna. I think it's always good to be the fun dad. You know, the dad that the cool dad. I think that's that's how that's how I want to be personally. But
is it that's what you want to be personally?
That's
the
how
cool
most
dad,
people are,
the dad that's like busts a bit of jokes with the friends when they're older. But at the same time, I think just what Mitty was saying in terms of like communication and emotions, I think it's very important to keep level-headed, but at the same time, emotions do run high. And
I don't feel like I don't feel like it's always malicious from the dad's perspective. I feel like you have been stressed all week looking after her, trying to balance work and everything, and then you come in and then you behave anyhow. I feel like it's just frustrating for us as mums. But I don't think the dads realise that. I don't feel like it's malicious. I just think, they're funny, they're seeing their child, they're excited. They don't see their child every day. So I feel like it's not malicious, but for a mum it can be very irritating for us. I do
agree.
It could be irritating. But
do you feel that the financial expectations that you have of the ex is one of the things that you feel when he actually says, I'm going to support you? Because sometimes you want not just the financial, but you just want the support of the financial and emotional. Do you feel that the financial stipulation, because as a mother you know what your child needs, do you feel that they should stick to that and not give excuses?
100%. I think both fathers need to. They have to. They have.
I agree. I think once you become a dad, I think your role is to provide at all times.
Yes.
Emotionally,
being there, giving advice.
Advice. I think most dads want that, but I think some might be immature or they might understand the bigger picture at the time. I think they might be quite selfish in what they want, or like they still want to go out with their friends, or still want to live a life that they don't realize it's no longer there because they have a kid. So I think it's just very important. I think it's what you're saying from my perspective anyways. Don't you feel that it's so disappointing when you're looking at your child and you know that the father can give more to the child and the mother stops because of the friction between them, or he steps back? Instead of stepping back, he just steps back all the way, and the mother allows it. Don't you feel that it's not right? I always say that I don't feel that it's right for a mother to stop a child from seeing their dad.
I don't agree with it, but like I said earlier in the conversation, I feel like there's times where you need to step back for your own mental health. I don't agree that stopping. I don't agree. My mum, my dad, they've always said don't stop a man from seeing his child. I agree, but I feel like if it's becoming toxic for the child or detrimental to their upbringing, in a sense where there's always arguments, they're exposed to a lot, I feel like sometimes it's okay to take a break. Maybe a week, 2 weeks, a month, a break, then go again. Because we need to remember that it's about the child.
But don't you feel that the man can come and take the child because the child doesn't necessarily have to be around you, but the father can come and take the child, because so long as you're not living together, he's living on his own. But do you feel that if he's living with a partner, you would agree for a child to go there? As for me, I won't, and
I don't really know. I think from my perspective, if I had
if that person was the source of your breakup.
I feel like it's a difficult one. So
as for me, I don't see any difficult as it is.
It is because
the reason why I say that is okay. With me, I don't see that as hard, and the reason why that is my view. Okay, that if the person is the cause of my breakup, why should my kid go there? Because I don't feel that my kid will be safe. That is my view.
Okay, I know. I agree with that.
It's different if we've broken up and then years down the line he's met somebody. That is different.
Oh yeah.
Because that means that relationship was not predicated on my current issue. But if that person broke up my relationship, why should I feel safe that my child will go there and be safe?
So I agree. Like I feel like I agree, because when you're emotionally,
you feel, or you, because this feeling thing is not working for me.
Because I feel like emotionally, I'm not going to agree with it at all. I'm going to be very angry. I don't want her there at all. But putting your emotions aside, if this is, especially if you're the cause of my breakup, I'm going to have a serious problem. But if this is the woman that, for example, my daughter's dad or whoever decides to be with, at some point, for my own mental health and my own well-being, I need to accept that that's the situation. So am I going to beat myself up for the next 10 years if he stays with her and be fighting him that my daughter shouldn't go? It doesn't make sense. So I feel like it takes a sense of maturity to get to the point where, okay, this is the situation, I have to accept it, that's her dad, and you have to trust that he loves her, he won't let anything happen to her. So if he's going with her, let him go, isn't it?
Okay, go on, Michael.
I feel like
it's hard.
I think it just depends on the man himself. If the man is, a really good father, like he supports the mother, even not together, like he's there financially, then I guess the mum will have the trust to allow it, to then realize that, okay, this is something that I'm comfortable with, because I know he's going to be a good dad. But
it's not easy though. It's not easy.
No, of course. But
it's hard.
Personally, for me, honestly, I don't wish it, but I wouldn't personally feel comfortable with my spouse going over, or my kid going over to
another man.
I mean, I'm not comfortable with it, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
No. The reason why I say that is, when you say it takes some form of maturity, and okay, you use the word of maturity, and then you guys were a little bit petty. I think I ain't reached there yet. I'm sorry. I ain't even gonna lie down. I don't gotta say here and say down. No, and I'm talking about almost after 11 years now, and I'm still there.
See, I can't.
So, and the thing is, it's not that I want the relationship. Don't misunderstand me. I don't want the relationship, but I don't want
the reason.
That's the point.
I can't.
You see, so as Michael said, you see, so it means that sometimes women and men can think alike, innit?
Yeah.
For real though.
Really?
Is it? Yes.
It's just really your whole life. I can't.
No, there's nothing to do with my life. I just want my kids to be safe.
Yeah, I get
and I want my kids to feel. Is it the funny thing is that is mine. The thing is, as for what you're saying sounds very sensible, and I've realized that you're even more mature than I am. Because so they're supposed to be sitting here and I'm supposed to be sitting there. But what I was saying is, but that is me. Do you understand?
Yeah, I can understand.
So now I was saying that, do you think as a single parent, a relationship breakup does impact on your confidence?
Yeah, most definitely. I think especially after having a child, because having a child in general can put its own insecurities on you. Changing your body, changing who you are, how you are. I feel like as a mum, you completely change. Well, not all people, but I feel like I changed in many perspectives when I had a child. And I feel like when you're in a relationship and that person breaks up with you, of course it's going to cause loads of insecurities within yourself. Like, do I look good enough? Am I enough? So many things. And then when you're young especially, and you have a child and you think, oh my god, now I have a child, like, am I going to be able to get into another relationship? Are people going to have to, they not only have to accept me, but they have to accept my child too. So that creates a whole nother, am I ever going to be good enough, or am I ever going to find someone who takes in me and my child? It does create a sense of like insecurities. And that
do you know that in the current, it's kind of like in this modern society, it's not as bad as it used to be? Because I had an uncle, that he had a wife, that they met in London, and the only time he found out my auntie had 3 children besides the children that he had with her here was when Donnell was being named, yeah? And he found out my auntie his wife had 3 children, okay? And I think because the kids were in Ghana, she used to say that they were her siblings, okay? Now, when you were talking about how the man has to accept you, I think now things are a bit more relaxed comparatively to then.
Yeah.
Because I know that loads of women were going into relationships and they couldn't tell their significant other that, I had children. I had one friend that her mom had 5 children.
Yeah.
But she came and she had another 3 and she never told them, and then every time they saw them, she said, those are my younger siblings, because the mom was taking care of them.
Yeah.
Now, when you say, like you're talking about the impact of having a child, your confidence level and all those stuff, you guys look like you just dropped out of a magazine. When we had kids, when you see us, we look run down. So sometimes I always used to say that I don't know when things changed, whereby you guys are able to do your eyelashes, do your hair. With us, I used to feel like I was on crack because when I get up, I mash up. No, seriously. You see, Donnell will be crying, and Andre will be crying. Andre used to cry like there's no tomorrow.
Baby.
Yes. But the thing was, it was like you were barely trying to get your psyche together. Now, when you say that as a young mother, it's kind of like it impacts on you. Because I'm looking at you and you look fantastic. You can go out there and you wouldn't look like you've got a child.
Yeah.
Do you understand me? You see, you wouldn't. You see, and even when you're saying you're 24, you don't even look 24. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, when you say that, sometimes it's a bit worrying. So that means having a child, is it a good or bad thing? Because I know certain people wouldn't, Michael.
I think from a male perspective, I feel like and it's quite touchy, because I feel like it depends on the guy you are. I think to go in a relationship and fulfill that stepfather role takes a lot of maturity as a man. And I think a lot of men are maybe not ready mentally for that capacity. I think personally, what I've seen in interactions online. But for me personally, I think I personally wouldn't go for. I personally wouldn't put in a situation where I meet somebody and they have a child. Because personally, I feel like I can meet somebody. It's just kind of a shallow thing. I can meet somebody.
It's a shallow thing.
I feel like I can meet somebody and
they don't have a child.
You know what I mean? It's just, for me, it's just the logic. But that's not to say that you can't meet a really fantastic mother.
Yes.
And you might fall with that person. But I don't say I don't know like a lot of amazing mothers out there that are more than capable of being a partner. But I just think personally, it's my perspective. I think other guys are not honest enough to say that, or honest enough to admit that to themselves, and I think they get into it like, I'll try, and then they realize that I can't. I'm afraid it's too late, when basically from the get-go you knew that you wasn't going to do anyways, but because of the love you had for that mum, you thought.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Yeah. Knowing Racy as you do, yes, because you know her. If you were to go into a relationship with her, do you think you have challenges?
I feel like
we will, because we do not.
I feel like Racy is.
So you would not.
I think Racy is a very special. Woman. Special, especially in terms of like, you know, she's very level-headed. She's very strong. She's driven. She's just powerful in the sense of what
intellect,
so very smart.
She's cute.
She's shy. I think the right guy is out there for her, and I think I can't wait for the day that she meets that man and she enjoys a good life. I think just seeing her grow and see the woman she's now is always. Me and Joe had a conversation that we're really proud of her and really commend her, because it's not easy, you know, going from, you know, a relationship and then going not be a relationship and being a single mum in this day and age, and this climate. Social media is really, really powerful and can really have a big impact on someone's mentality. I think she needs to take a lot of pride in her progress.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Racy, do you, and we've only got a few minutes more to go, so what I'm going to ask you is, do you think the narrative or stigmatization of being a single parent is supposed to be taken out of our society? Because being a single parent does not define you
Definitely
as a
not.
person, as a mother, and as a potential good, as Michael has described you, that that you does not define who you are. Do you think that narrative should be taken out of our culture?
100%. I do think that narrative needs to go. But I feel like, so I think it needs to go, but I also think we shouldn't get used to it.
Okay.
I feel like our societies.
That's an oxymoron.
Yeah,
we should go,
but we should go when we need to go. Like it needs to go.
It shouldn't define us.
It shouldn't define us. But that doesn't mean we should be strong in it.
Okay.
Like I feel like women will be. Yeah,
we'll get comfortable.
I'm strong. I'm good.
Yeah.
No, I feel like it's important to build healthy relationships and have a male in our lives and have a male, even if we're not with our daughter's father, but have a male figure for them. It's important to create that for our children. So I do think the narrative needs to go and the stigma needs to go, because that doesn't define me. Because I still work hard, I still do what I have to do.
You're still beautiful.
Yeah, so like, thank you.
No, it's true. If you weren't, my mom says if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. So I wouldn't have been saying anything, yes.
So I think it shouldn't define you, no, because you can still be an amazing person and single, but a single parent, but I still think we should also not get too caught up on the idea that the stigma should go and we should be single parents. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I'm going to say is thank you guys for coming today.
Thank you.
Racy. Thank you so much for coming. Now, what I want to say now is thank you so much, my producer. I want to thank Sister Danswa. This week was last week was her birthday, and she's a fantastic woman. And I applaud my producer for giving us the youth the platform. I always keep saying this. I come here every single time, and he's got a smile on his face. And if it was me, I wouldn't be able to. I would say that, oh, you don't get enough views. I want people to share like this. Because of him, we are sitting here. Because of what he gives our community. Because everybody talks about giving the youth a chance, but they don't. This evening, I am saying that Omega Live is one of the TV stations that supports us 110%. And you know what? We have to give them big up. And youth, you're supposed to appreciate, and love this station.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Nice one. Yes. Thank you. Man that will tell you that he's the only one that loves you and nobody else loves you, that is a red
lie.
That is a red flag, because nobody can love you more than your parents.
He's wearing it, alright, that means, oh yeah, wait, he does that. That's not fair. You're judging me before you know me. And that's unfair on the youth.
We should focus on happiness at the end of the day. You should do what makes you happy rather than what will make someone else happy.